Welcome back, everybody. It is time once again. Madden is here. It's franchise time. And I am actually excited to start up a Madden franchise. Last year really didn't go so well. We only won 2 seasons with the Cardinals. It just wasn't really, so to speak, in the cards. But I'm excited this year. I'm ready to go. Gameplay looks a lot better. So Madden franchise. The question is, what team are we going to go with? Now, I had a poll on a video probably about a month ago discussing and having who I wanted to go with. Now, a couple of teams are in the lead, but I've added back a third team. I'm still undecided. The first team is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. This Colts team, very interesting. I think a winnable division, obviously. But the question really is going to be, can their quarterback, that guy right there running out of the tunnel, Anthony Richardson, can he be the guy going forward coming into his third season? So much potential out of Florida. But the real question is, can he be that quarterback at all? Now, this offense last year, 13th overall in yards per game, 17th in points per game, around 22.2 points per game. They won 8-9, and this is a very winnable division in the AFC South. I know you got the Texans, obviously, but I think if you just beat them twice, just, we'll see, who if you get that done. But I think this is definitely a winnable division. You got talent like Jonathan Taylor. Now, the question will be, contract-wise, is Taylor living up to that contract? Obviously, held out, wanted the big deal, got it. There's 2 years left on the deal, so what do you do in that type of situation? But this Colts team it's definitely interesting for sure. Offensively, they got some weapons. They take the number 1 draft pick for them this year. They go out, get a big-time guy in Tyler Warren, big-time tight end, maybe the best tight end in college football last year, up for obviously the Heisman. Alec Pierce just really balled out last year, came out of nowhere. So really, this is an interesting offense. It's just, can Richardson be that guy? Offensive line-wise, I think they're solid. It's just going to come to the defense. And that defense is going to be led by new defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, who comes over from Cincinnati. Now, obviously, talk Cincinnati. That is not what you want to talk about defensively. Last year, they were awful. But years before that, prior, they were a solid defense and really helped them, obviously, get to a Super Bowl. So what can Lou Anarumo do? Gus Bradley is now gone. And they have some interesting talent, obviously. And you have one right here, second-round pick out of Ohio State, JT Tuimoloau. So he could be an absolute beast. They have guys who could really step up and nowhere. But this defense last year, 29th in yards per game, 24th in points per game, which probably is the most important defensive stat. 25.1 points allowed per game. Yeah, 24th in the NFL. So you're going to have to step up defensively. And with the new coordinator, new scheme, is this the time? I mean, corners, Kenny Moore, you bring out Charvarius Ward comes over. So corners, they're looking solid, very veteran-laden team in the back end with Nick Cross and Bynum. How do they get up? So the Colts are going to be choice, obviously, number 1. Now, choice number 2 for a possible franchise team. New England, is that Gronk? I didn't know they had Gronk in here. Yeah, we're going up to New England. We're going to the AFC East, the New England Patriots. This Patriots team, another, to me, interesting decision. You got Drake May. It looks like they have their quarterback of the future coming out of North Carolina last year. Solid rookie season. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about quarterback. He was pretty solid for an offense that I think it just wasn't good. But 15 touchdowns through the 10 picks, really good completion percentage, and actually very good runner. 421 yards, 7.7 a carry. He was fantastic in the run game, surprisingly. I mean, he was running for his life a lot of times with the offensive line they had. But this Patriots team last year, 4-13. They had 2 6-game losing streaks in a tough division. You got Travion Henderson. So a lot of talent there offensively. I think Henderson and Stevenson could be a big-time duo. They bring over Stephon Diggs, so it kind of gives you that number 1 guy. The thing is, Diggs just has to stay healthy. I think that's going to be the big thing. But, just trying to surround Drake May with as much talent as you possibly can. But last year, points per game, 30th in the NFL. 31st in yards per game, so not good. Plus, in this AFC East division, I mean, good luck handling the Buffalo Bills. You're going to have to go through the Bills. As long as Josh Allen is there in Buffalo, I don't know what you're really going to do about it. It's going to be a uphill climb to win this division. There is no doubt about that. Now, when it comes to the offense, not good at all. I mean, you're like about bottom of the barrel in the NFL, so there's nowhere to really go but up. Defensively, 22nd around, like yards per game, also points per game at 24.5. So defense really can go up as well. And obviously, Mike Vrabel comes over as the new head coach of New England, so he's going to bring that old school mindset, try to bring it, had many years here winning so many Super Bowls with this Patriots franchise. So what can he bring to the table? I know his tenure in Tennessee kind of ended interesting, but I mean, he's a solid coach, and he could bring this team back and really be a competitive. This is really kind of a sleeper team this year in the NFL. And I don't know how much. It's still going to be a rebuild, obviously. They still need a ton of more talent, continue to have to improve and try to build off Drake May. But they definitely have a ton of talent for sure, and you have your quarterback. So it's still an interesting choice for a franchise. And as I said, with that division with Buffalo and in the AFC alone, it's always going to make it interesting getting through Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo, all those teams. It's going to be a tough test in the AFC to get to a Super Bowl for sure. And then we're in the NFL, so, you're still, 2 years, 3 years out. But choice number 3 is going to be the Chicago Bears. So this time we go to the NFC, which might be the toughest division in football, the NFC North. You got the Detroit Lions, who, barring injuries last year, there's a good chance that they make the Super Bowl. They just ran into so many injuries. It was absolutely crazy. You have the Minnesota Vikings, who are absolutely fantastic. And then you got the Green Bay Packers. This is going to be definitely the toughest. It's got to be the toughest division in football. No doubt. But Caleb Williams came in with, obviously, number 1 pick, throws 20 touchdowns. The expectations are going to be there to, bring this Chicago Bears team to a Super Bowl, no doubt about it. But offensively, stats look all right when it comes to 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. But if you look at the rankings, it is just not good. Dead last in yards per game at 284. 29th, tied with the Raiders in points per game at 18.2. They just were not very productive offensively, and it was a real problem. Now, they bring in Luther Burden. They have Adunze last year, DJ Moore. They're trying to build around Caleb Williams. You got to continue to build an offensive line because I don't care how many targets you have. If you don't have guys blocking, good luck. It's not going to really make much of a difference. So the offensive line is always a key. But they're trying to get some weapons around this guy. Offensively, just not productive. So the production of the offense has to go way up. And obviously, like I said, with the number 1 overall pick, your expectations are there to produce. So even though touchdown to pick ratio is looking good, offensive production not looking very good. Defensively, interesting. Like I said, points per game is probably the most because yards per game, they were 27th in the NFL, allowing about 354 yards per game. But when it came to allowing points, they were 13th in the NFL, only allowing about 21.8 points per game. So, points per game looking solid defensively, and maybe that comes down to also, for offense to continue with drives, have nice long drives, sustainable drives instead of constantly going 3 and out. And then you give your defense some time to rest. But obviously, you play in this division. It's not going to be easy to stop some of these offenses. Like, Detroit, I mean, good luck. That's one of the best offenses in the NFL, if not the best. So, not easy to really defend, but they're a bend but don't break defense. But your offense can also help you out in that situation. So those are going to be our final 3 choices for franchise teams for this year's Madden. Like I said, hopefully we're going to go more than 2 years than last year, get a little bit more into it. We still have, obviously, the Purdue Dynasty going in college football 26. If you haven't checked that out, check that out. Having a great time there in season number 2. We'll have both going. I mean, football's here. I mean, what is better than football season approaching? I mean, I don't know. It's just fantastic. Obviously, the weather changing. Just that fall weather coming in, football. Oh, man, it just gets you definitely excited. But I'll leave the poll below. Also, if you don't want to vote in the poll or just want to comment down below, go ahead. But those will be the 3 we're going to think about going with. Hopefully have a decision here maybe in a couple of days. I'm going to let it roll for a few days, see what happens as we're still early on. Obviously, the initial preseason games are going on, tonight. So we have plenty of time. But yeah, vote down below. We'll see what we go with, and I can't wait to get this franchise going. So also, leave that like, comment down below. I'll see you in the next one. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.